Right, another Belgian. This one's the sour ale. And, oh man, it smells
Cellar
like
Blender.
booze.
That's what it's called. Pretty fucking...
Yeah, so this is one of the limited edition ones. And, so, sour ales they purposely introduce lactobacillus into it. And let them mash sour, or in some cases they'll allow a bacteria like Acetobacter into the fermentation process to sour it, and Acetobacter will sour your beer, and it eats the alcohol.
Oh, okay.
And it creates acetic acid as a byproduct, and sours your beer. I'm not sure which method they use for this, whether they let the mash sour before they sparge everything, or if it's during the fermentation. I guess you have to kind of read up on it, but either way, it produces sour beer.
This is 7.5 alcohol content volume. It fucking smells kind of funky, but
it's good. Yeah, it does smell a little bit weird, but that's, I mean, it's bacteria.
God damn, that's fucking...
It's great.
Ooh.
It's nice. So it reminds me a little bit when we start talking about strange fermentations and things with Belgian beers, it always reminds me of Lambics, right? Particularly with this one, because it's unflavored, goose Lambics, which are they're fermented with a special wild yeast strain in open fermentation. It's a Brettanomyces, and it's got a real tartish, almost sour, I guess, kind of character to it. Very, they can be kind of alcoholic sometimes not, but very, very carbonated, and just have a hell of a lot of character to them, and same kind of nose, same kind of real dry finish. Very, almost kind of like a sour or tart champagne.
Oh yeah, I agree with that, dude. Wow. I don't think I've tasted anything like this. It's very interesting.
There's a lot of sour beers out now. It's a super popular thing. I know Anderson Valley kind of really made sour beers mainstream, several years ago. A lot of people doing it now.
Yes.
We did a sour mash one time years and years ago in Idaho, and or was it at Woodland? I can't remember now. And we had some whiskey barrels, and so so I did a sour mash. I didn't introduce anything into the fermentation, and so let the mash sit for quite a while, and then that bacteria settles in there, and then when you sparge it and all the liquid comes out, right? It's actually had been soured. And then it goes to the boil, and you hop it and everything.
Right.
I just felt there was a little more control doing it that way, but long story short, we aged it in these whiskey barrels for a little while, and it was fucking like the real deal.
Nice.
It was good stuff. For sure. This is great, though.
Yeah, it's different. I've never had anything.
It reminds me a lot of a goose Lambic. It really does, and which kind of makes sense, right? I mean, this is a Belgian company.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's kind of their version of a Lambic. There wasn't really much info in there on it. But if to be a Lambic, it has to come from the Lambic region of Belgium.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, maybe they're, like, you can't be champagne if it's not from Champagne, right? It has to be sparkling wine. So I don't know if that's the route they're going with it or not, but it tastes a lot like it. It reminds me of, like a Boone Goose or something. This is fantastic shit. This is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, never had anything like this.
It does not
interesting.
Taste as alcoholic as it is either.
No.
What did you say it was?
7.5. Alcohol volume? Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, it's
pretty high.
Yeah, no, it's for real.
But yeah, it's very, 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 very tart, citrusy.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the, I don't know, not a fan of the smell, but like.
Yeah, see, it has that wild kind of smell that lambics have too. I'm pretty accustomed to it, so I guess it doesn't bother me too much. But
Yeah,
it is weird.
This is the first for me. I like it.
Yeah, they call those the Bretts, right? They're from that particular yeast strain, and I mean, it's been described a lot of different ways. Some people call it a mousy kind of character. Some people call it a horse blanket character.
Yeah.
Those are not generally terms you would want to associate with your beer, but
Right.
With lambics, it's just after years and years and years of using that particular yeast strain, it's the dominant yeast that's in the air and in the equipment, and just it's the house character, and it's all open fermentation, and it goes through a really nasty, gross fermentation. And it smells awful when it's fermenting. Yeah, but not like
it's
normal.
Kind of like how cheese does.
It's awful. Like, yeah. And it's just like having dominant bacterias and things. You know, the other ones really don't. They don't make it through. And
right.
It's wild, man. It's just like
shit.
You just leave it out and let it ferment.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, the flavor, I mean, yeah, it takes a little bit getting used to. The smell, it's, I don't know, not my thing.
Well, with any kind of sour ale or, you know, even like a lambic or something, this is... So, we were talking about mussels earlier with that other beer. Well, lambic is very traditional with mussels. It's like you see it in the French Highlands and in Belgium a lot, and this would be fantastic with that. Really good with seafoods.
Oh yeah,
for sure. But I think this would also be really good with a lot of cheeses.
Yeah,
rich cheeses.
Definitely.
Anything kind of rich, I think, would really be good for this because the sourness would play off of that. You know,
almost desserts too, like real strong.
It's not a bad idea.
Desserts, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's not a bad idea at all.
Real sugary shit or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think nuts too and pistachios and things would be really nice with that.
This is definitely
because it cuts, it bites, right? It's almost like how you would pair a pale ale or an IPA to fatty foods and maybe some spicy type foods. Like this would be good, kind of in the same way that you would do that because it cuts right through that with that sourness.
Oh yeah. Good call to cheese though. Yeah, it'd be good with cheese.
It would be fantastic. Yeah.
So. That's pretty badass. But
yep. So here we go.
Yeah, I like it. It's a new one for me.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. It's good to know how it's made and everything, and pretty awesome. It just smells like a fucking whore's bloody fucking sweaty cunt. But it tastes good.
Good stuff. All right.
New Belgium Cellar Blender. Oh, clink.